Welcome back to another episode. Today we are in Roseville High School thanks to Bob, Smitka, and Jade. We're going to be talking about using BrainPad in schools. Bob, thank you for having us here.
No, thank you.
I understand you've been working with Gary on using the BrainPad for some time now with your students, and you're actually a co-founder of a club in school, some science club.
Yeah. Myself and another teacher, Bethany Allen, are co-founders of what we call REST, which is the Roseville Engineering, Science, and Technology Club. By happen chance, we got to work with you guys, especially Gary, earlier this year, and he introduced us to the BrainPad, and a lot of our students were very, very new to coding and everything else like that. A lot of them had zero experience. And he set these in our hands and we kind of went through it, and he came in and did a little intro class. And what was nice about this compared to other kind of boards out there is that this ended up just clicking with a lot of the kids. They went through and it was just easy, it was intuitive, and what was really cool too is as we kind of explored it more, there was just so much we could do with these boards.
When you guys started with these, did you actually use a programming language or was like a script? Like we support Scratch, for example, and then
So we started off using a little bit of C# and also Visual Basic, and just kind of having our kids kind of follow through. We kind of actually had them, Gary came in and gave them a few general tasks of simple things like make an LED light up or go ahead and display this message on the screen. And then from there, the kids went ahead and they started just exploring. And what was nice is because of how intuitive it was, they got to go, okay, well, if I modify this, then I can do this or I can do that. And it was just really cool to see how quickly they progressed with this versus other boards, which are just, like I said, they don't have the way of just having instant feedback without 10 million capes or hats or whatever you want to put on them.
Okay, so these kids, when we were talking about those students, how old are they?
They range anywhere from 9th to 12th grade. Our club has students from all grade levels. And again, except for I think one student, we had almost every single one of them had zero experience coding.
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot of them wanted to, they knew about it, and they had this interest to do it. But this was a really cool way of getting them to actually get into the world of this, and we used the BrainPad and what we learned from it to actually kind of push towards a lot of other projects we did in our club.
Okay, and then let's circle back to the REST Club that
Sure.
you co-founded. So what does REST stand for, and what do you guys do in this club?
So REST stands for Roseville Engineering, Science, and Technology. We are just an after-school club, we have about 30 members right now, and we go through, for the most part, we do 3 major events that are sponsored by an organization called the Square One Education Network, and they help us kind of fund us to actually go ahead and get students interested in STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. So we do an underwater robotics competition, that's back in May. We're looking at possibly even looking at this for next year because a lot of the teams actually use simple microcontrollers to actually program claws, things like that, and we're looking at maybe possibly using this kind of technology to work into that. And then we just got back last weekend and we did a big event at M-City at U of M Ann Arbor. And that was their Innovative Vehicle Design Challenge Day, where we had 2 teams. One team was what they called their mini IVD or their RC challenge, where they were given a big RC car and they had to modify it, re-engineer it, learn about the gearing and the ratios and all that kind of stuff. And then the one that really all of our kids who kind of stemmed off the BrainPad is we did an autonomous vehicle competition where our students were given a stock Power Wheel in the box, and they were given about 5 or 6 tasks they had to do with it, and our students had to learn how to, from scratch, deconstruct it, code it, learn how our boards work with different sensors, and how to actually have it hopefully drive by itself, navigate through a course, I have ultrasonic sensors, sense magnetic fields and things like that.
The vehicles of the future
yes,
that drives itself.
Exactly.
Which I'm not really looking forward to. The idea of me sitting behind a steering wheel, or there's no steering wheel maybe. So I'm sitting in a car and there's no steering wheel and the car going around. It sounds exciting, but
ours was just the Power Wheel at least.
Technology, but the idea of just being in a car without steering wheel, it's not, I don't know, scary.
Yeah, I can understand.
Now, STEM. We hear STEM a lot. Some of our viewers know what STEM is. Sometimes it's STEAM. Science, technology, engineering, and math.
Yes.
But what does that really mean in a school?
I think in a school, it's really the combination of taking all these different curriculums that we have here and combining it into what we see as the future for some of our students. So we want them to be able to go out and get those engineering jobs and get those jobs that are based in technology and math and and all those kind of things like that. And then knowing how, because they're all right now, every single one of them has a cell phone in their pocket. They have a smartwatch. They have all these different things. By allowing them to understand how this stuff works and how the Internet of Things work and things like that, and then hopefully progressing to careers and to college pathways that actually do these things, that's where the future belongs. And I think this is going to be hopefully where they want to be.
So is it safe to say that as a student, like when you learn math, like when I went to school, and we learn, let's say, mathematics or physics, I would always think, why am I learning this or that? Is it safe to say that with the way STEM works, a student would really understand that I'm learning math because math helps me solve such and such a problem, or physics or chemistry or whatever the science or the technology it may be. You're learning that for a reason. You're just learning it just because.
No, I agree. It's taking what we know and learn from textbooks and notes and making it hands-on, making it something that's instant feedback for the kids, which is really, really cool. And what's awesome about this is when they go through this and they learn it, from the concept to actually application to actually a finished project, just the excitement in them by seeing, hey, we did this, we figured this out, this is why this actually worked. It's awesome.
Jade, I understand you're also part of the Rest Club here in Roseville High School. Can you tell us more about the club, your involvement, what do you do in the club?
Yeah, well, this was my first year in the club, and I was a part of the autonomous group, and it was really cool to do all this stuff. As in building robots?
Yeah. Can you give me some examples of what different things you worked on?
I started helping with the GPS, and then I just started helping everybody out, and I would help redo the code.
Are you good with soldering?
I haven't tried soldering yet.
Not yet?
No, not yet.
Good. Well, that's one of the problems that the BrainPad solves. You don't need soldering. So one day we hope that you'll be able to solder and get wires and expand on the BrainPad or whatever technology you might use. But to get started with the BrainPad, the way it's made, there's no soldering. Have you used the BrainPad?
Yeah. It was a really good way to start off learning code. It was really easy to pick up, and Gary did a great job of teaching us what we needed to learn.
Yeah, so Gary is standing over there and he's scaring everybody. Gary, hi Gary.
Hi everybody.
We have to bring Gary in. Come on Gary, please come in. We have to have Gary in the video. Because Gary really did a phenomenal job. Bob really helped a lot. The students did a great job to help us out and help us iron out the BrainPad and the concept, and to go from the BrainPad to the tiny BrainPad. So thanks to all the feedbacks we have received. And Gary has been working one-on-one with the students. And did you really mean it when you said Gary did a good job?
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. And what I want to say is we actually ended up doing 2 classes here, because the first class we had some difficulties with the technology of the school itself. So I had to come back for a second class. There were more kids for the second class than there was for the first class. So Jade and everybody in their class had to talk to everybody else in the club, and they got more kids to actually come to the class. So it's very exciting to see.
That's nice. What's the first thing you did on the BrainPad?
We did the Hello World program.
On the display, you show the Hello World? And like when you see code and you see something physically happening.
It was really exciting to see.
It was really exciting?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Bob.
Well,
It's been a pleasure working with you guys. And thank you, Gary, for all the help. She said you did great.
You're more than welcome. And Jade, you'll get your $2 after the video.
So, this is it for this week. Thank you very much. Till next time.